Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning again, and we're back here with another video. I have some cardstock in front of me, and I've put some decorative edges on it. A couple of different ones, and this one I've still got plain. What I used to get these edges are the Tim Holtz Alterations Edger's dies. This one is this die. It is the Ornate die. This one is the Scroll Work. It's this one. Okay, I should put it that way, I guess. And then this one I used the plaque and postage, and it was the plaque option for this edge. I also have with me, I have cut one of the Butterflight dies, and I did some work on this one, and I'll show you what I've done and how I've done it in a few minutes. And then I have this, and I use this edge is the distressed doily. Okay, now I made a very simple card. On the inside I have stamped this stamp of the 3 crosses. This is from Northwood's Rubber Stamps, and there's room to put your signature or a message in there as well. But I'm going to concentrate today on this part right here and on the backgrounds. This is one of the new chalkboard stamps from Our Daily Bread Designs, and I just think they're really fun to work with. I've got a printout of what those look like. There are 5 of them. Here's the other one. Okay, and I'm going to be working with this one first today. But first, what we need to do is make this ombre background, and we all have different things that we stash or think we'll use and don't use, or from other times, other craft periods in our lives, and then it's nice to know that we can go back and use those things. So what I've got with me today are oil pastels. They come in they look like little crayons. This is a very cheap set. It's just a store brand cheap set. I really recommend that you use artist grade equipment at all times, but I happen to have this and wanted to get it out and play with it, and so that's what I did. So to make this, I used 4 different colors of blue. I'm going to use some different colors. I'm going to try. No, we'll use that later. Okay, let's try to do this blue again. So I've got like a dark. Got 3 different values of blue, and I believe I had 4. Yeah, this way. Okay, from dark to light. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start out. I got some on there already, but that won't matter. I'm just going to scribble on some color, and I'm going from dark to light. Look, that one needed to go first, so let's put that one up there, and we'll go all the way down to the end with this color. Okay, so that's not very pretty, is it? You don't think? Well, the next thing we're going to do is take a cotton ball, and I am using safflower oil because I'm an oil painter and I have this, but what I want you to use is baby oil. I don't happen to have any baby oil, so I'm using what I have on hand. You can you can and should use baby oil because it's very inexpensive and very easily obtained. Okay, so I put a little oil on my cotton ball, and now I'm just going right over top of it and blending with that oil. You add a little more oil as you need. I've got a bloom right there, so I want to get rid of that. And this is dry almost as soon as you finish with it. But you can also hit it with your heat gun just to be sure. And then that really nice ombre look. I think what I want to do is come back with my darkest and put a little more in here because I don't have as much gradation of that color as I would like to have. Okay. So work with it until you're pleased with what you see. Okay, how easy that was. Let's do another. This is my plain cardstock, and I want to try and do it in the colors that I have here. So the first ones I used was sort of a pink. But I wanted that to be a little peachy, so I also put some red orange in it. Okay, and then I've got some green working, so I've got 3 shades of green here, so I'm just gonna put those in right on top of each other. And then I wanted to make a purple, and I don't have a purple in this little set in front of me, so I'm going to start with red violet, and then I'm going to come back in here with a blue. Okay, so let's put oil on that and see how we do with this. Get a new cotton ball. And I'm tearing them in two because you don't need that whole cotton ball. It's kind of a waste if you use the whole cotton ball. Get my edges. Okay. And I'm not turning the cotton ball over because I want that to blend into each other. And now we come down to our purple. Okay. So I do have marked lines. So let me see if I can blend those into each other a little bit better. Now if you push too hard, then you end up removing your color. So I'm going to put a little heat on there, so I can dry my oil, and I'm going to come back and add my color again. Okay, and I'll come back over. Okay, so I'm just going to go with those lines because I don't think it's going to matter anyway because we're going to put our big stamp on there. Okay, And to show you how I did the butterflies, I did exactly the same thing. I just put some color on. And the last one I also did that violet and blue combination. Red, violet, and blue combination. Like that. And then did the same process. Have to be a little more careful because I've got a lot of cut edges here that I don't want to rip. The reds seem to be more oil soluble than the other colors, so you're going to have to use a lighter touch with those, and maybe do 2 or 3 layers with them. Okay, so we've got that. And then what I did, so I made sure that my oil was dry, and then I came in with Vintage Photo and my Distress Inker. You could also use one of the little finger daubers, and I edged it with the Vintage Photo. I'm using my corners to kind of get it on those inside edges. I think I need a new foam pad. It's starting to shed. And so I want to do that with this also. I'm just edging it. Okay, got a hard line there, so I need to get that removed. Okay. Get my edges, white edge off. Okay, and then we can use this at the bottom, or this one. But first, let's make sure that my surface is dry. Then next I'm going to take some Versamark embossing ink. You can use any embossing or watermark ink that you like. I'll cover up my oil. And I'm going to use forgot where I put it. I'm going to use the stamp from Our Daily Bread. Find the correct one. Okay. Or is that the correct one? I should have had the correct one already out. My fault. Okay, now I'm going to ink up the stamp. I have not put it on a block because with this type of stamp, the writing, the design, is indented. So it's a negative stamp. So it's very important that we get complete pressure where the design is. So I'm inking this very liberally with my Versamark. Then I'm going to place it where I want my design to be, and then I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to press directly on the stamp, because in my opinion, in my experience, I get a lot better pressure and make sure that I get it overall where there are no missed spots when I can press directly on that foam backing. I have some arthritic problems in my hand, and it really helps me not to have a thick block in between me and the stamp. You can also take a very thin piece of acrylic like the top from one of your packages and place it on there to help get a smooth pressure. Okay, so now I'm going to lift it off, and the next thing I'm going to do is put white embossing powder. Actually, I've got seafoam white, so it's not quite white, it's just a little bit of an off-white. Let me grab a piece of paper to put underneath. I usually use a coffee filter, but I don't want to get up and go get it. I'm going to sprinkle that over top. Now, I want to make sure that I don't have extra embossing powder anywhere, especially where my script is. So, from underneath, I'm going to flip it several times and watch that embossing powder let loose where it doesn't need to be. Okay? So, let me put this back into my container before I end up spraying it all over my work surface, which I've been known to do. And now we'll emboss. I'm hitting it from the bottom first. To minimize any danger of any flying powder. I'm going to grab my tweezers so that I can hold on to this without getting my fingers close enough to burn. You'll know you're finished when your embossing powder has changed color. Okay, see how that comes up? Now we can adhere. I think I want to trim this just a little bit. Let me move my my oil pastels off from the top of my paper cutter. So bear with me just a moment. Can never get them back in the same order, but you can try. Okay. Alright, so from on the bottom I'm going to just trim off about maybe ½ an inch. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so I may have trimmed a little too much, but I can still, there we go, that'll work. Okay, I'm going to put some adhesive just right on the very edge of my card, or my piece. That was not the right way to do that, was it? I glued it to my paper. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to take my little scissors and I'm going to trim off this bottom edge. And I don't really want to cut that butterfly in two, so I think what I will do is let that butterfly hang off over the edge like that. Okay, so then you can take it and you can put it on a card and you can embellish from there. And what I would do with this card is I would put that vintage photo around the edges, these edges as well. So let's use one more of those stamps on this piece that we made, and let's use this, a different one. And this one, okay, this one goes across, so we'll do it that way. So once again I'm going to ink it up with my Versamark very liberally. And I'm going to put that right about there. Then I'm going to press down. I'm not using a stamp block. I really feel like those thick stamp blocks are more of a hindrance to getting a good image on a stamp as detailed as this one. Then it helps. And let me show you what I've got. I was at the Heirloom Stamp Show yesterday, and Stamping Sensations, this is what that is, Stamping Sensations, had these little acrylic pieces that were cut out with a hexagonal shape on the ends that they're using to, they're marketing them with their